What's up, TRICOLOGY family, and welcome back to another episode of the TRICOLOGY News Talk. And it's gonna be a pretty very short-sighted news for you guys today, but some pretty good ones. And also we got a movie review for you all today. And so let's not wait time. Let's get into our first piece of news and our main street topics. So we are going to be talking Mission Impossible Day of Reckoning Part 1, the first reactions. And most of it, everyone is saying it's outstanding. So let's read a couple of tweets on what people are saying about Mission Impossible Day of Reckoning Part 1. So we got a first one from Pierre Nimanov from Collider. And she says, Mission Impossible Dead Reckoning Part 1 is another winner of the franchise. Yet again, the production value is through the roof, with some are most well defined, and exhilarating set pieces photographed in ways that truly make you feel like you're in the middle of the movie. So a pretty good one there. Let's read another one coming from Mike Ryan, and he says, Mission Impossible Dead Reckoning Part 1 works as Christopher McQuarrie ambitious examiner of meditation on AI and dangerous path might be on. He doesn't like it. While Inherent Native being Part 1 said a lot lately, not satisfying as Fallout. So he said it's good, but not as good as Fallout. Because remember, people are saying Fallout is one of the best action movies of all time, and I do believe that too. So yeah, kind of pretty good. It's still a good tweet there, but he says it's not good as the Fallout, and I can understand that. So moving on, this tweet coming from Josh Dumoulin, and he says, Mission Impossible Dead Reckoning is phenomenal. Haley Asher steals every scene she's in. This is now my favorite Mission Impossible film. With the AI being the villain, this feels like a cautionary tale. The action had my heart rate elevating. That train scene is mind blowing. Oh, wait a minute. Okay. I saw the train scene in the trailers. It reminds me so much of the Uncharted games. But there's a lot of when you look at the trailer for Mission Impossible, there's a lot of mind blowing scenes. The train scene, the one we was off the bike, and like everything's great. But he said the train one is the best one. Okay, so I'll give it to him on that one. And moving on, this one coming from Grace Luther, he says, Mission Impossible Dead Reckoning Part 1 is fantastic. Dynamic, timeless story. Excellent new characters. Huge variety of action and a final set piece that ranks tops 2 and 3 all time of the franchise. It gets a little decent at times, but pace and intensity more than covers that. So that's a pretty good one there. And then let's see what we got. This one coming from Caitlin Bland, and she says, after the intensity of the last few films, Mission Impossible 7 has a tremendous amount to live up to. But one thing I'll say now in quick reaction format, it does its best job yet. A recent Part 1 of 2 features in feeling like its own film while setting up for the next half. So So what you're saying, even though it sounds like its own film, but it's still probably gonna have that that cliffhanger ending. We don't know how it's gonna end, but we can all assume that it ends with a cliffhanger. Okay, so we got a couple more here. Next one coming from Aaron Davis. He says, I had an absolute best time watching Mission Impossible, an MPG made action film that does not stop entertaining. Each action sequence is long, crazy, intense. The story is big, inspiring, but I like how it both felt complete and left you dying for what's come next. So you can definitely tell that it sounds like there is a cliffhanger ending there. And we got one more, and this is coming from Nigel Smith, and he says, there's a car chase scene in Mission Impossible Dead Reckoning that brought me so much joy. It revived my love for the summer blockbuster. The craftsmanship of this franchise is unmatched. The final change sequence is a whopper too. I caught myself leaning into my seat. So he says a car scene and the train scene. It was he love. So I will definitely clearly out for that. So that is our first reactions for Mission Impossible 7. Definitely looking good. And I can't wait to see where this bad boy. I can't wait to see that bad boy come out. All right, got my tickets for that. So moving on. DC versus Marvel stacks. That makes DC reboot absolutely unethical. So let's do a top 10 here on the MCU and the DCEU's top 10 worldwide box office numbers. So coming in at number 10 for the MCU, we got Captain Marvel at a 1.128 billion. Spider-Man Far From Home with a 1.132 billion. Captain America Civil War at 1.153 billion. Iron Man 3 at 1.215 billion. Black Panther at 1.348 billion. Spider-Man No Way Home at 1.901 billion. Avengers Age of Ultron at 1.403 billion. The first Avengers at 1.519 billion. Avengers Infinity War at 2.048 billion. And then lastly at number 1, Avengers Endgame at 2.798 billion. So that's your top 10 there for the MCU. So let's look at the DCU. Coming in at number 10 is James Gunn's Suicide Squad. Is at 168 million. Well, that movie came out during the pandemic in 2001, and that's where Warner Brothers did the whole day-to-day in theaters and HBO Max release. So it is what it is. Coming in at number 2, Birds of Prey at 205 million. That was kind of pre-pandemic. In the early months of 2020. The first Shazam, 366 million. I don't know why it got that low. They should have made more money than that. The first one was good. It was definitely better than the second one. Black Adam at 392 million. I'm surprised there. But even though a lot of people say it was a box office bomb, but I feel like it was just underperforming because they definitely made the profits there. They definitely but hey, Justice League, the original Justice League, not the Zack Snyder's version, but the original one that came in the theaters. But that made 657 million. Man of Steel made 668 million. David Ayer's Suicide Squad made 746 million. The first Wonder Woman made 822 million. Batman v Superman made 873 million. And then lastly at number 1, Aquaman made a billion and made $1 billion as well in the box office. So that kind of tells you, looking at this box office, like people kind of gave up on the DCEU like right after Aquaman, and the box office has been kind of failing there, and now with the after what happened, I would say from the starting of the first Shazam all the way to the Flash, I think everyone kind of gave up, and now people are just looking forward to the James Gunn's DCEU, but yeah, it is what it is, but we'll just have to see what James Gunn got in store for us. Let's see if this new review is going to be a success. Moving on. Fantastic Four's Sue Storm frontrunner says it will be an honor. Let's read this report. While Adam Driver appears to be the frontrunner on Mr. Fantastic, Actors like Margot Robbie, Melina Kunis, and Jodie Comer are rumored for the role of Invisible Woman, alongside The Crown, Hobbs and Shaw, and Mission Impossible's Vanessa Kirby. So I like that. So I wouldn't mind if Vanessa Kirby be up in there. Moving on. Jonathan Majors appears in court. His alt trial is expected to start in August. So let's read this report from Variety. Jonathan Majors is going to trial in August on domestic violence charges. The embattled actor appears in person in a Law Manhattan courtroom on Tuesday morning for the first time in the ongoing assault case. In a brief procedures, a judge said his trial date will begin on August 3rd. So we finally can get some closure here, and let's see what's going to happen until August 3rd. Moving on, Marvel is skipping Comic-Con H Hall because they're a mess. Let's see what the Hollywood Report had to say. Marvel Studios will not be heading to San Diego's Comic-Con for the customary HR presentation in July. The Hollywood Reporter confirms. The DC-owned studio, as a long maintain, will only attend the con when it truly delivers. Marvel panels as far away, considering that the highlight for most years attending a campaign overnight and a seat for a 600 500 person hall. The Wrap first reports the news. But that wasn't the only thing. But there was many other companies that was blocking out from Comic Con, and I think it's truly because of the writer's strike, and I see I see that the writer's strike continue pushing forward to other companies as well. So it's gonna be crazy to see how Comic Con is gonna respond and how they're gonna make this year's a success. So it's gonna be crazy. But hopefully we get some more news on that. But moving on. Sony pulls Spider-Man spin-off El Muerto from the release calendar. Let's see what the Hollywood Reporter has to say. El Muerto, the Spider-Man spin-off starring Bad Bunny, is no longer slated for the January 12th, 2024 release date. And I can also tell you that Bad Bunny will not be starring in this film as well, because due to the tour commitments and all that other stuff. But let's continue on with the story from the Hollywood Reporter. Says filming has not yet started on El Muerto, which does not yet have a full cast attached. It hails from filmmaker John Guerrero, who is the son of Afro Camaro. It was supposed to be the first live-action Marvel project to star a Latino character. El Muerto is an anti-hero and the son of a luchador, or a Mexican wrestler, spinning out of the Marvel comics. He is next in line to inherit the extraterrestrial power of El Muerto. So we gonna have to wait a while to see what new plans they have for the character and who's gonna be replacing Bad Bunny now, because he's no longer gonna be in the role now, due to the tour commitments. So we'll just have to wait and see what Sony gonna do there. Moving on. Are DC films failing because the reboot is coming? Like I said before, let's go to like I said, the previous movies that come out, not like I guess you could say 2019 and they'll do this year, because look at the results we have. Like the highest box office that you could think of is Black Adam right now, and I just went through some of the box office there, and now their lowest box office movie is Shazam: Fury of the Gods, and that's not good. So, and that's crazy. So and also Wonder Woman 84, James Gunn Suicide Squad, but that's not on James Gunn, because that was released during the pandemic, like I mentioned before. They did the whole day-to-day theaters and HBO Max release. So yeah, that's not all James Gunn's fault, because the James Gunn Suicide Squad, that was the highest rating DCU film, so that everyone loved that. So I guess you could say it's not just because of the reboot. It's just because of the decisions that DC been making, and the fans yeah the be reacting on social media, and they want this and want that, and then you got this whole control over the DC being money hungry and all that other stuff. So it's a lot going on. But we got the old administration out, and we got the new administration in. So we had to wait to see what James Gunn and David Zaslav and Peter Safran got up their sleeves. Hopefully, this new reboot will get us on the right track. But we just have to wait and see if this is going to help the DC go back on the right track. Moving on. Blue Beetle is planned as a trilogy in the new DCU, says the director. Well, in case you guys didn't know, I did work on Blue Beetle. So yes, I cannot wait for this movie to come out. But I don't want to talk all about me, but this is for you guys. I'm here for you guys to give y'all the news. But let's read the report what Deadline had to say. We are part of the universe. We are part of the world. We are part of the plans that they have been creating for the future. Installments for DCEU. Soto told Total Film magazine. So, if they are planning, like I said, a trilogy, that there would definitely, it don't have to be like a whole $1 billion film. It don't have to be all that. But at least if they make the profits from the budget and all the marketing tours and stuff, then it would definitely be a success. As long as it's not a box office bomb, it will be okay. But continue on with the story. Our first movie, the way we wanted to do it, was always with the menu that we want to do 2 more, at least, Soto explained, and taking into the tradition of the third act structure of the story, while we want our first movie to practically be the first act of a saga. So, if this movie turned out really good, then they'll definitely be on a right track to do the trilogy. But I just want to know and see like how this character is gonna fit into the DCU, because even James Gunn said that Blue Beetle will be a DCU character, even though this movie is a DCEU movie. But they saying that Blue Beetle will be trans over to the new DC universe. So we'll just have to wait and see how that's going to transpire. Moving on. Ahsoka in Star Wars Rebels Season 5 confirms that David Finley. Let's see what the report had to say. It's hard sometimes to tell with the things you read online whether that's the actual fact or just some fan fiction. So that's I'm pretty sure that David said that this is basically like the 5th season of Rebels. It felt nice to feel that Soren continuation with these people gotten such rich history with. You can see that with her mission, she says that going after the throne is believing that he is still alive and holding Ezra in her heart, because they have really a beautiful long history as well. So hopefully this will be a tie-in to the Aqua series, and then going forward into the to the Rebel series. Moving on. Black Panther's Namor leads a new project over the assassination allegations. So just like Jonathan Majors, our Namor actors facing the same thing as well. But let's read this story. Herrera confirms in the news in a statement that he shared with Variety, which says, given the impact in a recent false statement by Maria Elena Reyes and the damage that they have caused, I have no choice to redraw from prodigy in the film Fisa Lagura. It is with great sadness I do this, but I cannot allow her actions to harm not only me but also the work of the dozen of talents and hardworking people involved in the project. My focus now is simple: continue the process of restoring my reputation. So you got to fill out the court case to let them know that you're innocent. That's what Jonathan Major is doing. So you got to prove yourself that you're innocent, but man, because if you're not, that's the end of your career. But moving on, Hobbs and Reyes, a working title for the Dwayne Johnson's Fast Solo film. So I got a lot of questions here, but let's read this first report here. According to the new leasing to from Production Weekly, the upcoming Hobbs Center spinner film will reportedly be called Fast and the Furious Presents Hobbs and Reyes, which I think is a stupid title because they are not partners, they are enemies. It should be called Fast and the Furious Presents Hobbs versus Reyes. Now that sounds better because when you think of Demolition Man with Sylvester Stallone and Wesley Snipes, you think of Face Off with Nicolas Cage and John Travolta. Like you think of those movies. That Hobbs versus Reyes sound like a better title. But moving on with this, continue on with the story. This means that the movie will mainly focus on the rivalry between Luke Hobbs and Jason Momoa's Dante Reyes, which is teased during the Fast X post-credit scene. While little is known about the spinoff, including a release date or any filmmaker attached to helm the project, the report title indicates that Reyes will return to the franchise before Fast 11. So, are they getting ready to move to productions on this film? And is this movie going to be coming out before Fast X Part 2? Because there's a lot of questions and answers to come here. Because if this spinoff is right in between Fast X and Fast X Part 2, that would be a great story to tell. And so yeah, and yeah, and yeah, what's the other way to wait and see? But moving on. Brutal Spider-Verse reports reveal hundreds of animators quitting. Uh-oh. Let's read this report. A report coming from Vulture reveals 100 artists quit working on Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse due to navigation working conditions. Some of this includes the last-minute changes that results in many artists' work being scrapped from the final film. One artist, using a political stiffen, has said this about the working conditions. Over 100 people left the project because they couldn't take it anymore, but a lot stayed on just so they can have many sure that workers survive until the end. Because if it gets changed, then it's no longer yours. I know people were on this project for over a year who left. Now they have a little to show for it because everything was changed. They went through hell of the project, and then none of them got work coming on the other side. So, yeah, it's crazy, man. Because, like I said, those animators out there, I got to give them props because just like working as a production assistant in the film business, working as an animator is extremely hard. I put that with the being an editor and being with the visual effects and everything. So, I mean, that's just crazy, man. I don't know what's gonna happen with Beyond the Spider-Verse and the people who's gonna be involved on the crew side, but I don't know what's gonna happen. But that's our Main Street news that I have for you guys today. So let's get into our movie review, and that's gonna be on the movie The Blackening. So this is a horror comedy that's directed by Tim Story. So this follow a black a group of black friends who encounter the murderers while standing in the cabin in the cabin of the woods. So yeah, I definitely oh my god, when you think when you watch this movie, you think of freaking the scary movie franchises, like stuff that that's like all the horror, other horror comedy that just make a lot of stereotypes and all that other stuff. So, this movie came out on Juneteenth. So, the whole story of they're here for a reunion, and they decided to do the reunion on Juneteenth. But yeah, so it's a lot of it's a lot of fun. It's funny as hell. But yeah, there was a lot of stereotypes in there, but some of them you'll be like, what? And I was like, really? I'm like, but yeah, but it's a movie, man, and so it's a lot because when you think of a lot of a great horror parody, like I said before, you think of scary movie, but now I can definitely put this movie on the top of that list. So this is definitely one of the good ones. I have laughed so hard at a horror comedy in a long time. So this is definitely one of the great ones there. So yeah, and let me tell y'all something. If y'all don't know how to play spades or don't know what a black anthem is, you better ask a friend. That's all I'm saying. I'm like, oh my god, this movie definitely tests your black card there. So yeah, and they even got the some of the questions that they was doing in the movie because originally if you see in the movie in Blackening, they was originally just playing a board game. So like if you remember those type of movies where you play a board game for your life and all that stuff. And so yeah, they definitely I forgot what movie. Dang, I don't know if it's a Ouija. I guess you could call it that. Or like the other movies, or the other movies that was based on playing the board game. So yeah, it was definitely that. And because it's still it's not like a possession movie. It's definitely like a slasher movie. If you call it that, because like it does the setting of it is mainly focused on cabin in the woods and all the other stuff. But and also I would say also Get Out too. It definitely had some Get Out vibes in this movie as well. But yeah. Other than that, this is definitely a B grade film that I would give. If you definitely one of those type of people that love horror movies and also want to laugh your ass off, this is definitely a movie to check out. But other than that, man, that's all I have for you guys today. If you're watching on YouTube, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and hit the notification bell when new episodes are uploaded or any other videos are uploaded. And then, of course, if you're listening to me on Anchor, Spotify, Google Podcasts, or Apple Podcasts, or any other podcast streaming platform, don't forget to follow me there as well. But other than that, this is Trico, and I'm signing off, y'all. Peace.